Oh, I think Bedell's got left his running in the background. We're gonna go and do.
Oh
crap! Wrong one. Wrong button. Oh, we're starting off good here tonight. Welcome everybody.
It's all because Bedell had to use the Shuby bucket.
That's
Jeez.
right. The Shuby bucket of all things.
Oh, hold on. We muted you because you left the YouTube running in the background.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, didn't you have the 30-second countdown rolling?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the 30-second countdown.
That was the 30-second
countdown. From you.
My bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Shame.
It's all right. We forgive you. You're here this week, so we definitely forgive you.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what news? You know what news article we totally forgot to bring up?
What?
The surprise one for Bedell's return.
You're right, because I didn't include that one. You go ahead and grab that, and we'll and we'll do that. But hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for your patience with our kind of jacked up start to our stream. Oh man, appreciate everybody being here. I know the notifications are still kind of going out a little bit. Make sure you smack up the like button, subscribe, share. Really, definitely share this thing out too. We are trying to spread the proverbial word, grow our viewage and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you're helping us out with that. We really appreciate it. And like BC was saying, we got Bedell back. Bedell's been gone for about a few weeks from a lot of our crypto streams, and he's back. Bedell, welcome back, man.
Thank you. Hopefully it'll all be settled on Wednesday, and this will be my first time back.
Well, we appreciate you being back. That's for sure. While BC, let me know when you got that set.
Got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Well, then let's do that, and then we can shout out the chat and go from there. How's that sound?
Well, since Bedell is returning, and we all know that Bedell likes gummies, we saw this news article from the last week. Trump admin to reclassify state licensed marijuana. So instead of it being a class 1, oh no, I don't want to subscribe or log in. Jeez,
oh my God, again?
All these freaking websites. They're like, you need to create an account and pay us.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, it's been a class 1, narcotic, as they say, and looking to schedule it to a class 3, which is big news for people like Bedell that are very interested in, the marijuanas, because it opens up the doors to a whole lot more research and things like that. So, yep. Bedell, did you hear about this last week?
I heard about it. I didn't do much research, but I'm right either way when I say this, is that marijuana is now classified as the same as like Tylenol, Advil, and ibuprofen now, or was it the same before with the class 1? Because normally a class 1 I feel is worse than a class 3, but I feel in this case it's probably the opposite.
Oh, so it's a class 1 right now, and they're looking to move it to a class 3, which means
one
that
is like Tylenol and Advil. Are they a class 1 or a class 3?
No, they're not a class.
Oh,
those are just over-the-counter medications.
The last time they reclassified it, I swore I heard from a couple different tubers that it was pretty much the same as like Advil and Tylenol and all those OTC drugs, which I'm like, it's not really OTC. I mean, I guess in a way it is, but you just can't go everywhere and buy it.
Well, so what it'll do is it'll allow companies to do research on it and find out more medical uses and things like that. It also opens the door for a lot of federal funding for it. So something that's a Schedule 1, it can get no federal funding for research purposes. So that's been a big restriction with it.
I mean, That's good and bad per state, I feel. Because, like, in my state, I have to have the medical card in order to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't sell it, you know? And I don't even think I can give it away legally. But, like, I can
No,
go
you can't.
to whatever dispo and buy a certain limit every day. But then it's like I've always said, is like I feel there's too many gray areas. Because I can only buy so much a day, but how much can I have at home? There's no rules on that. You know, say if I'm allowed 1 ounce a day, for example, and I go 7 days a week for 6 months and I buy 1 ounce every single day, and I get rated because I have 35 pounds in my house. Well, I mean, that wouldn't make the math correct, but say I get rated, I have 10 pounds in my house. Well, guess what? I bought legally 1 ounce every day. And in the last 6 months,
but you're still only allowed to have so much at once.
It doesn't state that, though.
I guarantee you're only allowed to have so much on your person at once.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm sure it's in there.
Does that make it in the car or at the house?
Like that, you can have only so much. I think I know my mom, she's down in Oklahoma, has a medical card. The limit is £1. Anything over £1, you've now committed a crime.
See, so, I don't believe in my state of Illinois it states that.
I promise you, it's everywhere. It's it started in Colorado.
I've asked my buddy whose best friend is a county sheriff in this county, and that county sheriff doesn't even know. And he just said it's just one of those gray areas.
Because the police are known for actually knowing the laws that they're enforcing.
Yeah. I'm not going to bring them into this because I got other things with them too that are minor, but whatever.
Yeah, well, that's a crypto on the rocks conversation. But anyway,
yeah. Jesse's over here like £1.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of Jesse, let's zip through and say hey to everybody. Jesse, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, what he said. Smash that like button. I appreciate that. Let's see. Lad is in the house. Welcome, Lad. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, it's always Bedell. From earlier. Yeah, well, we're gonna go with that, Jesse. It is. And
let me just say this, Jesse. My last grow legally was 5 plants, all legal, and I netted about 3 times that amount.
There you go.
But it's like I don't feel comfortable having that in the house because I already feel like it's breaking the law. But when you grow plants and you can't sell them, you can't give them away, what are you supposed to do with them?
Smoke them? Duh.
Details.
Yeah, but if you grow back to back to back and you constantly yield, say, 1 pound,
yeah,
how long does it take one person to smoke a pound of weed? Quite a while.
Well, I think that depends on the person.
Apparently, it takes you a whole lot longer to smoke a pound than it would take me to smoke a pound.
There you go.
I don't smoke though. That's the thing is, I want to buy stuff to turn it into gummies.
Well, there you go. Turn it all into gummies.
20 sale by like 3 minutes. I was like, oh, this is like 57% off, and I was going to buy it, and then it was already sold out. I'm like, dang it.
Oh boy.
Welcome back. Before we get too far down it.
Yeah, before we get way off track here, we're already 10 minutes in and we're still on gummies. Anyway,
I'm sorry the storm is already blowing in a little early. If you hear the rain, let me know. I can mute.
So far, I hear nothing. So just be safe. Be safe. For those who don't know, Bedell had like no internet up to like 20 minutes, a half an hour ago. Some storms going through his area. So let's stay safe, brother. Let's keep shouting people out here. Wick Rider Ned in the house. Appreciate you being here. Is that Shuby I see? Oh, there he is. Shuby Bucket's in the chat. If you're on my channel, Shuby Bucket's in the chat. I got working on something for Shuby. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Loco for crypto. It's Donato Cabrera. Welcome. Appreciate you being here, brother. And let's see. What's he say? Tennessee won't follow suit. I'm not sure what. We've had quite the conversation going on so far.
Rescheduling. That was all on
reschedule. Okay. And that's where all this stuff was coming in. Okay, I gotcha. Sorry guys, a little bit behind. Hey, Andy is in the house. Andy, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Talking about watching the arrest of a sovereign citizen today. It seems like every time a sovereign citizen is involved with something, they end up getting arrested. But
yeah, because it's fake. It's all there's no way you can reside within this country. Well, unless you're a certain kind of immigrant and not.
I was gonna say, let's come on now.
But I mean, even someone that came into this country illegally is still subject to the laws within. You know,
yeah.
Listen, police pull you over for anything and you are driving without a license, I'm sorry, you're gonna get in trouble. It doesn't matter that you're like, oh, I'm sovereign. Well, we don't recognize your sovereignty. We're America. So deal with it.
Hey, well, listen, be as sovereign as you want, but you're still gonna get slapped around if you break the law. It's that simple.
Yep.
You know, that simple. What else we got here? Andy again saying, what did you guys hear about AI partnering with Qualcomm? Qualcomm. I'm sorry. Again, that does say Qualcomm. It looks like quail to me.
It says quail. She's making fun of it.
I'm not gonna. I know it's old man eyes, but come on now. Qualcomm for AI phone, new world currency. I did not hear about that. BC, did you hear about that?
Yeah. But my whole caveat to that is the new world currency has been our data for a long time.
Well, that's a fact.
So it's not new. They're just going to get more efficient at how they mine our data, which has always been the goal, you know?
Also true. Let's see. We got Eric Roberts in the house. Welcome. That's a new name. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I need a shot of vodka too, brother. See, older guy, just like me. So I'm happy. There we go. Let's see what else we got here. Am I missing anything else, guys? Did you see anything else? I don't think so. I think we're caught up. Awesome. Although I'm starting to freeze up like crazy. So we'll see how that lasts here. So BC, why don't you
Fidel over here sending his internet your way?
Obviously. Oh man, I've been good all day, but of course. Anyway, BC, why don't you start us off and then we'll just kind of hope I don't drop out in the meantime.
Well, we had this story first, which I saw basically over the weekend. The White House mulls using Defense Production Act in Spirit Airlines takeover. And I'm not happy about this one. So the Trump administration is exploring using the Defense Production Act as part of a strategy to save the beleaguered Spirit Airlines, according to U.S. officials familiar with the discussion. President Trump is open to some type of federal action, several sources told CBS News, and he said publicly he'd do it to save the jobs. Getting into it, I believe it was down here. Yes, the government would lend Spirit Airlines $500 million at a reasonable interest rate and become the top debtor in the bankruptcy pecking order. The loan would be protected by Spirit assets that would exceed government costs and would provide taxpayers with a warrant, the right to own 90% of the company after it emerges from bankruptcy. And then a missed payment came to light during a bankruptcy hearing during Thursday and was confirmed to CBS News by sources familiar with the ongoing negotiations. By missing that payment, it would put Spirit Airlines into potential default on its debtors in a possession agreement with creditors. So there's a whole lot to unpack with this one. One, the money system is what it is. We already saw what happened the last time the government has bailed anyone out. It works so well with Ford and GM and Chevy. It works so well with the banking industry. You know, let's just pick up all these failing businesses because of the jobs. Because, you know, the way capitalism works is that when there's a void, the void just stays there and no one fills the void or anything. Like, it pisses me off. And
and it should piss you off. This is bullshit. I mean, let's be clear about it. I mean, what are you going to do? I get it. He's trying to like not have super bad job, or I'm assuming he's trying to not have super bad job numbers going into midterms. But you want to know what? It is what it is, dude. You know, that's just the reverse of what the Biden administration was doing when they were sitting there. Let's put this job out there. Let's put this job out there, and you know, make everything look all hunky dory when those jobs didn't exist anywhere but on paper. And here you got a what is now basically going to be a zombie company. Another zombie company sitting there, and it's just wrong. Never mind. You know, nationalizing, which is basically what it comes down to.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they're going to take our tax dollars. They're going to buy Spirit Airlines. And I get it. You're saying, well, 90% is covered by their assets. They've already gone through all of this. They've missed payments before.
Yes.
Like, this is I'm sorry, it's Spirit Airlines. Why are we bailing out Spirit Airlines? Everyone already knows that Spirit Airlines is crap. If you go anywhere on the internet, there's jokes about flying Spirit. So why are we trying to keep them alive?
Again, I the only thing that makes any kind of logic to me is save ourselves for the midterms. Well, dude, in my opinion, and again, this is just my humble opinion, you're already dead for the midterms. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the other part I was kind of thinking is that they're hoping that Spirit defaults, and now the U.S. government has a lot of airplanes that they've bought with taxpayer dollars. And if you're going to be in a global conflict, we now have a lot of airplanes to move stuff around in.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, I wouldn't have considered that because it's passenger airliners. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Well, all you got to do is rip the seats out.
I suppose that's true. I
mean, how many times do you see people buying an old school bus and turning it into an RV? I mean, it's the same thing that the government would do. And like my question of that is so why is the government not going back on Ford and Chevy and those car companies that they bailed out because they needed money? But here they are now spending millions of dollars on limited production vehicles to break each other's Nürburgring times. Like they're spending millions of dollars on like 30 or 50 cars to be faster than Chevy. And then Chevy comes back with a better car next year that beats Ford. And then Ford comes back the next year. And it's like, it's all a money game. But yet 5 years ago, you guys were fucking bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And asked the government for help. And now you're just throwing millions out there like it's freaking shoeby buckets and pea water, you know? Like, why don't they give that money back to the government? Like, obviously they've got it to spend.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the biggest part that really makes me mad is like, of all the things that we're going to do with the money that the government doesn't have because they're running in a deficit, you want to spend more money when we've already increased our defense budget this year alone. It is now the biggest defense budget we've ever had, which, you know, we've done a show on My Counter This where we actually broke down part of the budget. You know, Social Security is 22% of the budget. Defense is 14% of the budget. And that was when we were in the billions. And then they want to bump it up to over $1 trillion. And now they want to add another 500 million to it. I get it. It's pennies in comparison to the trillion, but like there's so many bigger problems than a failing airline. When every time we bailed out a company, when we bailed out all of the car companies, they just exported all of the jobs. So the jobs that you're trying to save aren't going to exist in America after you bail them out, because they're just going to export it anyway.
I got nothing else to say. BC just literally hit the nail on the proverbial head right there. Got nothing else. Nothing else.
Let's spend money on this, make it a news topic, so then we can spend money on that, and nobody knows about it. That's the way I feel about it.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they're using like the cloak and dagger technique. Here's the cloak. Come look at the cloak, and then I'm gonna stab you in the back.
Well, I mean, that's just politics in general, you know.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's like no, we're never gonna get a politician that'll fix America, and it just is what it is, and it is on the actual people of America to fix America, and the only way we're gonna do that is by not voting against our interests, which unfortunately it doesn't seem like as a populace we've gotten to that stage yet, but I am eagerly awaiting that point.
Don't hold your breath. That's all I'm gonna that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not holding my breath. I'm just waiting and ready, you know.
Oh man. Listen, the next article link is in the description, by the way, but we were having some difficulty pulling it up because like BC just mentioned a second ago, we ain't paying no damn people to be going and put out their information. So the next one's from the New York Times, who is the old gray lady is even grayer than normal, but anyway, BC.
And so because I don't have my VP, so I can't stream and also have my VPN on, which my VPN is how I pass all those paywalls. So yeah, if you want to see, like he said, it's in the description, but I had found an article, which the New York Times is the only people that had talked about it. It's someone who had a Fidelity account and their entire life savings was in their Fidelity. Both their checkings, their savings, their retirement account, everything all wrapped up in Fidelity. And an error was made, and she was unable to access her account. Not only was she unable to access her account, when she contacted Fidelity, Fidelity told her she didn't even have an account.
Yep. You're not even a customer.
Yep. That went on for 6 days. For 6 days, she was unable to access money. They couldn't find any records of her being an account member. So for 6 days, no way to pay for anything, no savings, no retirement account. And these are the people that every single day we are trusting with everything. You know, if all it takes is a single line of code disappearing and you don't exist in the system, it's not a very good system.
Yep. That about sums that up. So folks, if you ever needed a reason to be like living on crypto, there it is. Oh, and self-custodying your own crypto, by the way. Don't use the exchanges like a bank. Anyway, before I get down that road. Anyway.
True that, you know, too many people do. And it comes down to the same thing, honestly. Well, it's like, if you were just going to trust a centralized entity to hold your money, you might as well just leave it with JP Morgan or leave it with JP Morgan, Stanley, Bank of America, leave it with Fidelity. You know, at least they fix the problem eventually. But 100%, I'm going to be pissed for that 6 days.
Oh, hell yeah. And I'm sorry, rightly so. Just saying, rightly so. Hey, bingo bangos in the chat, guys. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. BC, go ahead.
But like with at least with, you know, Fidelity and JP Morgan and Bank of America and all of that, you're insured up to $250,000. So if something happens and you make that claim or whatever, they'll give you $250,000 back of your money. If that happens in Coinbase, you get $0 unless all of that money was in cash.
Yeah, but okay, say with Fidelity or the FDI insured banks, okay, yeah, they guarantee you up to 250K. How long is it going to take you to get that money, though?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if you had no cash on hand and all of a sudden you woke up and you had no access to your bank, couldn't spend any money, then what's up? You know, like, and I feel for like the last few years, a lot of people have been saying, like, hey, at least make sure you got a couple months of cash on hand.
Well, you know, that's funny that you put that up there. Honestly, either name works. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh man,
that was pretty smooth.
What's Sandy saying? Banks will not give you any FDIC insured money unless it was their fault. Well, and yeah, I suppose that's true.
But that would be their fault. So this was a deletion of a line of code that caused her account to disappear in the system.
Correct.
So like at the end of the day, if you can prove, like we all get bank statements. So it's like, if I got to go through and battle with you because you didn't want to give me my money, like I'm insured. So eventually I'm going to get my money. I don't know how long that process is. I've never been through that, thankfully, you know,
thank God. Right.
But thank eventually, God. You know, like,
but here's a question though about bank statements. Would you prefer them to be emailed to you or paper mailed to you?
I would just prefer that I have them. I don't care how I have them.
I don't care so much about the how, long as you have it.
I mean, I feel like a paper copy, yes, it can get destroyed in like or water or whatever, but email I feel is a lot more vulnerable than a paper copy. So like a lot of my bills, hey, they're going to charge me extra to send me a paper bill. Fine, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I pay it, I put the date, I write the confirmation code on there, I put the amount, and I throw it in the safe. But then if my house burns down on it, I don't have proof, except for my bank, you know, but I don't know.
Hey, you got to do what's easier. Like even like crypto, right? Whatever way is easiest for you to access crypto and, you know, store your crypto. Same with the bills, the statements, the bank statements, etc. Whatever's easier for you. I mean, for me, it depends. I have certain, like my business stuff, I get paper and email. And like the personal stuff, I go with the email because it's like whatever. I'm still gonna store that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me.
They're just over here roasting Bedell.
Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, whatever. Man. It's all good.
They said you got a month's worth of roasts to get hit with. So
yeah, facts, right?
Yeah. That's fine. I'll keep taking them. It's okay.
Hey, look at it this way. You know you were missed. That's the key. You know they missed
very
you.
True. Very true.
What?
Oh, he's gonna.
Okay. Oh, I love Andy. I love Andy.
Yeah, this is why I throw the gummy juice on the paperwork and then just start eating it later because
because
this is why you don't take a gummies and also do your bills at the same time.
Yep. Well, let's see. How about we talk about Michael Saylor? Because I know everybody on the screen here loves Michael Saylor.
If we gotta, it's a topic that unfortunately, if you are in crypto, gets brought up more than it needs to get brought up. Facts. But Michael Saylor, massive buy on Bitcoin. Think even bigger. Michael Saylor strategy buys 34,164 Bitcoin for $2.5 billion, and his total holdings are now over 800,000 Bitcoin.
Yep.
So massive buy. Still, just barely at that threshold. I believe with some of the dip that we saw today, or what was it with market open, he is still under profit margins. So I believe his cost basis is like $73,000. So still not in that profit area on all of his holdings. So, I mean, kind of lowering your cost basis just a little bit, but yes, still we'll just have to see how far he can make it.
Well, and that's the thing. And his, I don't know if any of you are watching from the Bitcoin conference, which is going on right now. And if you are, I hope you have a great time. Truly, I do. But like, I don't know that I want to listen to this guy at the Bitcoin conference, because to me, he is no longer, and hasn't been for a long time, the representative for Bitcoin or this space. He's playing centralized games with what was a decentralized asset. Just saying.
I feel he's making it like a centralized asset. Well, if Michael Saylor's strategy, right? They own 800,000 Bitcoin. I think that's what that said.
815,000.
I
was going to say it's like 815. Yep.
Okay. Well, the circulating supply of Bitcoin is 20,021,637, according to CoinGecko. So he's almost getting to that point where he owns like 1/23 of the whole Bitcoin supply. I mean, that's just running numbers off my head, but say 1 out of 25, he owns 1 Bitcoin for every 25 that's in supply. Don't you feel he's starting to make Bitcoin more centralized than anything? Because he owns so much?
Oh, well, of course he is. And he's advocating for that. Not just in what he's doing, but in how he talks. It's no longer peer-to-peer money. There's no such thing in his vocabulary as Bitcoin being peer-to-peer money. It's all about store it, which, hey, listen, I'm okay with DCA and HODL, but like use crypto for what it was meant to be used for along the way, not just hold it in your wherever, in this case on his balance sheet for his business. Just saying.
Yeah, and I know like BC kind of has shat on Saylor a couple times, and we've agreed
because of the way he's doing it.
But it's like, okay, say Bitcoin is like the #1 crypto, which I feel most people says it is, but it's like, what if he starts getting to that 50% or 51 or 60% where he owns over half of the Bitcoin that's in the supply? Then it's like, well, that's not a good thing.
Wow, he's got a long ways
to go. I mean, because it's like Andy brought it up where she's like, can you do the math? Because 20-30% is gone. So that leaves us with like 16 million Bitcoin, 16,800,000, and he owns the 800,000. So he owns it's still a very small percentage. But as he continues to try to do this and he gets everyone else doing the same thing, you got a BlackRock and you've got all of these other companies who are just accumulating massive amounts of Bitcoin for no other purpose than to just accumulate Bitcoin. It's not pushing forward to peer-to-peer. It's not actually being used. It's just, right. Oh, well, this is a gold mine. A gold mine for them in fees is what it comes out to. And I mean, partly Saylor gets part of it, where he's like, okay, we're doing, we're securing a hard asset. but also at the same time, you're detracting away from your method by saying that this is a free money printing machine, because you leverage your Bitcoin and your leverage to the gills. You've made more company. You've now made more and more stock options. Like, you have to release new tickers all the time to drive in new revenue. You just spent $2.5 billion, and it's what we just got through Q1. So now Q2, you're going to have to pay out literally everyone that's given you money that has preferred stocks that have that dividend. So we'll see how this all plays out.
And Jar, welcome. Appreciate you being here, man. And it's funny that we're having this conversation when Jar shows up, because this is a conversation that Jar and I are going to have tomorrow night on the Matrix Money podcast. Because one of the other things that we didn't have here for tonight is that you got Peter Shifty Schiff, right? He like him, hate him, whatever. He basically is calling Michael Saylor out, saying, dude, you are literally running a Ponzi scheme.
It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme with some extra steps in it. That's all it is.
Exactly.
100%. Yep.
Exactly. And we're gonna talk about that tomorrow night on the Matrix Money. I'll mention that again toward the end. Jar, thanks for being here. But yeah, so I again, this is the guy who's sitting, like I mentioned when BC started talking about this, like as the main keynote, the big kahuna. Well, unless you count all the government people, but let's not get me going about that until tomorrow. And that are at this Bitcoin conference. You know what I'm saying? It's like, exactly right here. What Jar just said.
Well, so he said it's a Ponzi if it doesn't work out.
I know.
Even if it does work out, it only works if you continue to have new capital coming in. That's the only way this works. That, by definition, using new capital to pay out people that put in capital, that's a Ponzi scheme. There's just an extra step in here where we buy a hard asset to back our debts. Okay, so at the end of the day, worst comes to worst, you're forced to sell off all your Bitcoin and make whole all of your investors, including all of their payments with interest. Is the math going to math? Is everyone going to be made whole? And I don't think so, because he only owns 800,000 Bitcoin, and I don't know how much he's actually been given. He's paid off one debt so far. I know that for a fact. His first seed loan, he paid that off. But other than that, every dollar that he's got since then, he's paying people out with yields and things like that, and trying to drive in new money so he continue to pay yields and continue to buy Bitcoin at the same time.
And Andy saying, what percentage of people own crypto right now? I think this plan will work for the next 5 years at least. Maybe. I mean, again, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not trying to put words in BC's mouth, but like, I'm not saying that like this is going to collapse tomorrow. But what I am saying is that what he's doing is dangerous on a number of different levels, not the least of which, as Fidelity started out with, like centralizing a crap ton of Bitcoin. Just saying.
But it's like we've seen, like Bernie Madoff ran a Ponzi scheme for 17 years, and that thing didn't collapse. You know, he just got found out.
Yeah, well, so there you go.
There's just because it doesn't fail doesn't mean that it's not a Ponzi. And it could go on and go on and go on until something critical happens with Bitcoin. You know, say Bitcoin gets replaced. It is now seen as like, oh, well, you know, Bitcoin's good, but like you got to buy Dash because everyone's using Dash because it actually works as a real world asset for peer-to-peer. And we've got a bunch of systems built on top of it. And the biggest problem with Bitcoin is rigid. Bitcoin doesn't want to change because we're Bitcoin. And it's like, I love it, but I also hate it because it doesn't always work well with the real world.
There you go. And you know, listen, nobody's saying he's not a baller, Andy, and you don't have to stop. You can you put out whatever you want to put out anytime you want. It is what it is. But the bottom line is, at least in this guy's humble opinion, he does not represent this space. He doesn't. He doesn't. I'm sorry. The ethos of this space is lost in a number of ways, and Michael Saylor makes it worse.
Well, crypto is not a free money printer. Crypto is a technological revolution. And anyone that detracts from the digital revolution that crypto was always meant to be is like someone I will always have negative words to say against.
Facts.
I just want to give my guy Serpent X Tech a shout out real quick. Oh, I gotta plug in my laptop. Crap.
That's okay. And I just brought up his comment right here, where he's like, yeah, space has changed, no doubt, man. And welcome, by the way. But it has, and not for the better, in my opinion, not for the better.
I like Saylor's vision.
There you go. I'll take that. But there you go.
I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, about like buying HODL, but buying HODL now, and he's like buying when he's negative, like. When you're losing money and you're still buying Bitcoin, saying, "Hey, just HODL," it's like, you know, like kind of like BC. Like that's a good sign that it's almost a Ponzi scheme. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying like when you can't even make money and profit and you're still spending money, yeah, that's not a good thing.
Well, I'd be fine with it if it wasn't like, "Hey, I'm taking every single grandma, grandpa, average person's money to buy this Bitcoin with." To also turn around and then I've got to pay them dividends every single quarter and things like this. There's so many more moving parts to this, and I get it. He's probably got some highly intelligent people that are helping keep this all afloat, but all it takes is one thing. You know, if we get World War III, Saylor's done. Like, dude, Bitcoin's
That's
not
a lot of people and things, but yes.
But I'm something. It doesn't even have to be as big as World War III. But I'm saying something that has a long enough sustained effect on your global economy. Bitcoin doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and you won't be able to buy Bitcoin like that, and no one's going to be giving you money to buy Bitcoin.
Agreed. And this is why they're taking the time at this Bitcoin conference to suck up to all these government officials. That's all I'm saying. And I should probably drop it there. But Andy's going to keep me going right now.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And then borrow more money for pay. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, not the person I want representing this space. I think what he's doing is going to come back and bite him in the ass. But again, who am I? What do I know? I'm just some old guy on the interweb.
See, I would much rather have the Brian Armstrong being the voice of crypto. Not that I'm like his biggest fan because he's a centralized entity, but he also gives a little bit of a crap about the technology of crypto, and not just crypto is a way to make money. It's crypto is a free money printer, which is all these other people in these new big shiny names in the spaces are using the space as. All of those keynote speakers were just like, "Hey, we use Bitcoin as a free money printer," and it detracts from the entire message. But I think part of that is by design. I think a big part of this is by design. The only way you kill crypto is by killing crypto from the inside.
Yes. Oh, mic drop. Okay, we're done, folks. We're out of here. That was it. Mic drop right there. We got 10 other things to talk about, but mic drop. That was it right there.
I mean, it's a good. Joe asked me a while ago. It was on. I think it was on your.
I think it was Crypto on
Friday
the Rocks
show.
or something. Yeah.
I think it was on your Friday show. He had asked me. He was like, "Then why are they adopting crypto so crazy? Why is the government pushing for crypto? Why are all of these hedge funds and all of this and all these people? Because the only way you kill something, the only way you detract from the power of crypto is by doing it from the inside. All of this can replace all of them. We don't need Wall Street if we are Wall Street.
Facts.
You know?
Facts. Yep. I don't know. We should probably move on because if we don't, we're not going to get through the rest of what we got to talk about. Well, this is a good segue maybe with I wonder if all these synth minds, the AI we're creating will make life easier now that they rule us and they'll use Bitcoin. Well, I don't know if they're going to use Bitcoin, but they will use some form of crypto in one way, shape, or form. That's for a fact. And that is a great segue into AI and quantum. BC, take it away.
So, I mean, this headline's super misleading, so don't get super scared or whatever. But a researcher breaks a 15-bit elliptical curve key. It's the largest quantum attack, and they won a 1 Bitcoin bounty. This is not them hacking something to do with crypto. They got paid 1 Bitcoin to break the 15-bit elliptical curve using a quantum computer. So, you know, we've been talking about it for quite a while now, that these quantum computers would make easy work with all systems that we have. Granted, we're running what most of your devices run 256-bit encryption. That's 101 qubits breaking 15. So do the math. We did an episode not that long ago. Their prediction
is like, we talked about it before, and it's like, it's a possibility, yes, but with the quantum computers right now, it's not possible.
But we're about to watch a video that's going to make you think twice about that. And the links to all of this are in the description. Now, this segment of the video we're going to watch is about 5 minutes long. We may stop it in between to put in our proverbial two Satoshis. But the thing I want you to remember when you're watching this is that you are literally watching an AI explaining to you about AI and quantum. Now, granted, the script itself is written by an actual human being, the CEO of the company, et cetera, who uses her digital avatar to explain it all. And her digital avatar has more followers than like most people in crypto. That's all I'm going to say right now. Pick a big name. She's got more, this digital avatar. Anyway, let me bring this up. We're going to give it a listen, but pay attention, because if you don't fully grasp quantum, and again, links are in the description to what BC just mentioned. There's a link to an article on my website where I really go into detail in simple terms to try and explain quantum versus our current computer system. So I think I did a good job, if I don't say so myself. So go ahead and check that out later. But she's going to kind of give you that brief right here, right now. So I'm going to start it. I'll shut up. I'll start this, and then we'll go along. Guys, if you somewhere in here you want me to pause it, just let me know. Other than that, I'm going to let her go. Okay.
Share your thoughts below. Okay, quick primer. Regular computers, the one you're watching this on, use bits. A bit is either a 0 or a 1. That's it. A quantum computer uses something called a qubit, and a qubit can be 0 and 1 at the same time. I know, it breaks your brain. But that property, called superposition, means a quantum computer can chew through certain types of math exponentially faster than any regular computer ever could. Here's why that matters for your life. Every time you log into your bank, every time you send an iMessage, every time your browser shows a little lock icon, you're using encryption, specifically math problems that would take the world's most powerful supercomputer longer than the age of the universe to solve. A large enough quantum computer solves those same problems in days, maybe hours. For years, the scientific consensus was, don't worry, we're decades away. The US government's official deadline to prepare was 2035. Then April 2026 happened. Google's quantum AI team showed a 20-fold reduction in the resources needed to crack one of the most common encryption standards, ECDSA 256. 20-fold, not 20%, 20 times less hardware than we thought. Or Atomic, a startup spun out of Caltech, showed that a different quantum architecture called neutral atoms could potentially break RSA 2048, the encryption that basically holds holds the internet together with as few as 10,000 reconfigurable qubits, not the millions everyone assumed. And the researcher himself, Dolev Blufstein, told Time magazine, quote, "There is no question that we used AI to accelerate this development. AI is now speeding up quantum, and quantum is coming for encryption." That's a sentence. Here's how I know this is serious. Cloudflare protects something like 20% of all websites on the internet. They were already working on post-quantum security, upgrading to new encryption that quantum computers can't break. Their previous deadline for full quantum readiness was 2035. 2 days after these papers dropped, they pulled the deadline all the way forward to 2029, 6 years earlier. A Cloudflare researcher told Time it was, quote, "a real shock." And get this, there's an even scarier concept called harvest now, decrypt later. Bad actors and state adversaries are already collecting encrypted data today. Your medical records, corporate secrets, classified government files, and just sitting on it, storing it, waiting. Because they know that the moment a quantum computer is capable enough, every piece of encrypted data they've harvested over the last decade becomes readable. The encrypted message you send tomorrow may not be secret in 2030, and they already have it. Here's the part that fascinates me as someone who lives at this intersection. NVIDIA, the same NVIDIA building all the AI chips, released an open source family of AI models called Ising, specifically designed to make quantum computers work better. They're delivering 2.5 times faster error correction and 3 times better accuracy on the biggest bottleneck in quantum computing. A quantum AI startup called Sigaldry, led by Chad Rigetti, one of the pioneers of the field, just raised $139 million to build quantum accelerated AI servers. That's quantum accelerating AI, which is accelerating quantum, which is accelerating AI. It's a feedback loop, and it's happening right now. Every prediction about quantum timelines was based on one assumption. Humans would figure this stuff out at human speed. That assumption is gone. AI is now the co-scientist, and AI doesn't sleep. Caltech and ETH Zurich showed this month that a practical quantum computer might only need 10,000 to 20,000 qubits instead of the millions everyone assumed. That's a cost collapse. That's the difference between a $10 billion moonshot and something a mid-sized company could eventually afford. The timeline just changed. Nobody is telling you this. Okay, what do you do with this? First, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Your money is not going to disappear next Tuesday. The banks, Apple, Google, Microsoft, they're all moving to post-quantum encryption. It's a transition, not an apocalypse. Second, 3 specific things to do this week. 1, turn on a password manager if you haven't already, and set every password to something long and unique. If quantum can crack the encryption, recycled passwords become a disaster the moment one leaks. Bitwarden, 1Password, whatever, just do it. 2, turn on 2-factor authentication on everything that matters. Bank, email, anything with money attached. Quantum breaks encryption math. It doesn't break a physical device in your pocket sending you a code. 3, and this is the entrepreneur play, start paying attention to the companies building the post-quantum world, not as financial advice, as first mover awareness. The company.
Okay, you get the point. And now, just for the sake of letting everybody know, I was playing that at like 1.5 times speed to try and get through that. She does not talk that fast in the actual video. But a couple of points. The first thing was she was talking about a password manager. If you don't already have one or use one, not sure where to go, I put a couple of links in the description. By all means, start there and decide for yourself. And the 2FA stuff, I put a link to YubiKey. I love YubiKey. And in fact, we've given some away here, as a matter of fact. Yep. So, you know, just a thought, there's a link to that. You know, do we still have a runway? Sure. I mean, BC mentioned our previous episode, and what did we say? The timeline then at that point, which was literally a month ago tops, was like 2030. And now you've got Cloudflare pulling it back to 2029. So anyway.
So I mean, it was like 2030, 2032, somewhere around there. And that was even pulled back from that 2035 prediction.
Correct.
So, and this is that thing with that feedback loop. When this feedback loop that never sleeps is going to continuously power itself, you know, it cuts down on a lot of these hardware problems and hardware limitations. We do have some hardware limitations, but a lot of those are being shattered right now. So MIT, the big complaint everyone's had with AI, it takes up so much room and you need so much cooling. Well, you know what doesn't need cooling? Silicone. You know what they just made that has 99.99% accuracy on? They made silicone chips that you can stack on top of each other for AI.
And to that point, I want to bring these 2 comments Andy just said, because she's kind of not wrong, but yet, guess what? We don't have as much time as people think, because these things already exist. They're just not out for public consumption. FYI.
No, I mean, they've got smaller computers that can do like three qubits right now. We've talked about it on our quantum show where they just figured out a way to now not have all these quantum computers have to be in a room that is at 0 Kelvin, which is absolute zero. That's been the biggest problem when it comes to quantum, is that you need supercooling on these, and that's your biggest energy drain. Well, now that we don't need the biggest energy drain, we can focus a lot more of this coming in on actually just running the computer itself.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, well, okay. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to screw up somebody's NDA. But anyway, well, I'm just saying, trust me when I say a lot of this stuff is already, let's just say, in testing. How's that? We'll go with in testing. Okay.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, okay, like the NVIDIA 5090 just came out, what, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe. I bet there's people already testing the 7090 right now. You know, because by the time we get it, it's already 2 to 3 years in production.
Oh, yeah.
Because when something goes on the market and it sells and it's in stores at that point, like, how long does it take it to go from a concept to a reality to production? And then from production, it's got to make millions of these, ship them worldwide just to be ready on the release day. And it's like,
well, not to mention they also have to,
already like way behind the point.
They also have to hardware test all of these things as well before it ever hits the floor. So like it's a big misconception that we're using like actual GPUs when it comes to AI. We're not. We're using Blackwell chips. If you've never seen what a Blackwell chip looks like, it's a giant wafer that literally crams all of what would be in your GPU, but it has more contact points on it. And it also allowed for better cooling. Well, a lot of that is going to start going away because they're going to be using silicone. We won't need gold to have all of these connections, which it also then requires a whole lot of cooling. We'll be able to use silicone and stack these things on top of each other. And they will require no cooling.
By silicone?
Well,
not financial advice.
But like silicone's extremely cheap. That's one of one of those things where it won't really matter.
A tube.
Yeah. Yes. We'll just glue them all together. Yeah. Now, in there, she mentioned about having think about some stocks, I think is what she said, with regard to things that would be necessary for quantum and obviously AI production. And I know this is something that BC's already looked into. And if you are a member of Piper Academy, correct me if I'm wrong, BC, but anybody who's already a member of Piper Academy in their Discord already has access to that list. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've dropped, it's a giant tech list. I don't really have time to, because we've got, a minute.
Yeah, I know where we went way over in the beginning there. Yeah.
So I can throw out a few names where it's like, this is more on the quantum side of things. She already said one of those names. It started with the O. What was it? But another one is going to be Qubit, which is just a quantum computing company. They work with building quantum computers. There's also Google, obviously. They are working on quantum computers as well. A few of these are going to be more private, so we can't really invest in them unless you have a lot of money. There also is, some of most of your big computer companies right now also work with quantum. They're also doing mixed, where it's like quantum and traditional computer hybrids. That'll be more available to the average person. When it comes to the quantum safe side or
atomic. I might have spelled that wrong, but that's it right there. Yeah.
But when it comes to the safety side, there's not actually a whole lot of companies that I've done a bunch of research in just yet. A lot of these are going to be private. So when it comes to something like These are the companies that run SHA-250 or your 256-bit encryption and things like that. Those companies are all private. They don't want public interest in there being able to sway the way that they're running the company. It works fine. Cloudflare, things like that. They're private companies. You can't buy in. So there are other things that you can kind of look into where you saw the two-factor authentication keys. That's a good area of interest. Other things like that, they're going to get extremely popular, especially as quantum gets bigger and bigger. So those are areas to look to invest in as well. All of this, of course, not financial advice. I own plenty of stocks. Intel, Quantum, Qubit. I own AMD, Qualcomm as well, because I've been saying the biggest problem when it comes to technology is how small you can make it. That's literally their thing. They just do micro technology, and as AMD's comment said earlier, they're now pairing with AI to make a phone, which it was always an eventuality that the company that makes the small things is going to partner with the most efficient technology out there.
Yep. And I think that's because you mentioned that. It's a good point what she said, the AI, what we just watched in that video, where she's like, AI is now helping to do the quantum, and quantum will then help to do that. And it just becomes this kind of recursive loop that just feeds on itself. And we've talked about that to a huge degree when we've talked about a lot of the stuff that we've talked about previously with AI. So,
oh yeah, well, and you'll have giant feedback loops on a lot of these technologies. Like when it comes to Qualcomm partnering with AI is going to help Qualcomm be a better company. You're going to have all of your technologies will get incredibly smaller very, very rapidly, because you now have AI giving a feedback loop to what Qualcomm is doing, allowing you to make smaller and smaller things. And it's just going to be a giant thing. Technology, I said it on our quantum show, but we're at the small point of that elliptical up.
Right.
It's about to blast off, because, those quantum computers used to take up a whole room. They are not at that point anymore. Quantum computers do not take up an entire room anymore. That was the beginning of the blast off point for traditional computing.
Yep. No, all 1,000% facts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little quieter. I'm setting up the forward. We're going to go read JR. No.
Well, I was just going to say, like, if you look at like the original computer, that took up a whole entire garage.
Yep.
Like a 2.5 car garage, two car garage, something like that. Like, say a 20 by 20 space was like an original computer that didn't have internet, didn't really do much. And look at where a computer's at now. It's pretty much in your hand. And
literally, right?
So like a quantum computer being that big, what, 3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, like
and
BC
now
said,
they're releasing the details about like the size of this one when they're working on one that's a tenth or a quarter of the size that's already in production, still in the works, just kinking out all the bugs. It's like,
yep. And I just want to shout out Steve Hickey. Steve, brother, appreciate you being here, man. You're coming in at the end here, but you slid in. We appreciate you. Yep. We're going to be wrapping this puppy up here in a minute. Listen, I hope everybody that was here tonight appreciated what we did with regard to the discussions. We gave you our opinions with regard to a lot of stuff, and the information about the quantum. I guess I just probably want to wrap with this, and BC, feel free to jump in on the tail end of this. Is, we didn't put this information out there with regard to AI and quantum to be like, scaring everybody. This isn't the doom and gloom thing. This isn't like panic. No, quite the opposite. The idea is have the information, know the information, and prepare for the information. anything either you guys want to add to that? I mean, hopefully that pretty much sums it up, but.
Go ahead, BC. I got a train coming, so I'm going to have to mute for a minute.
Yeah.
So, it's like they say in the Army, piss poor preparation prevents piss poor performance. And you cannot be properly prepared unless you have all of the information. A lot of what is going to be coming out is going to be scare tactics and doom and gloom. They're going to be banking on the fact that you don't fully understand these things, or that it's hard to understand. Yeah, I get it. It's technology, and we are moving through this technology at breakneck speeds right now. There's always something new popping up, but the more scared you are about it, the more easily manipulated you are. Take a step back. A lot of the best safety features that we've talked about here on the show before, like physical two-factor authentication keys, are going to be unbreakable for the time being.
Yes. And right there, Andy. Yep, exactly. At my grandma, same thing. Yep, exactly. I understand. All right, guys, let's wrap it up real quick. We are gonna go and raid. What's that knowing half?
Knowing is
that's
half
right.
the battle.
Thank you, Jar. Exactly. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, and thank you. I see everybody saying thanks for the stream. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. We're here every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. But as we're wrapping up, Fidel, anything you want to throw? I know you got a train coming by, but anything you want to throw out? There is, but he says he's got to wait, right? Okay. BC, how about you, brother? Anything about counter this?
We've had to take a few weekends off. I've had stuff going on, and then it was LBC's wife's birthday this past weekend, so of course we did not do a recording because that would be absolutely
that would have been bad.
We are looking to do a recording here this next weekend on Medicare and Medicaid, which is points like 3 and 4 in our budget if you take out the interests that we have to pay on our debt. So we'll save that part for a whole nother day. But Medicare and Medicaid, we kind of want to talk about that because, there's a lot to unpack in that. And we might have to bring some guests on for that one.
Sweet. I love counter this. Links in the description. Make sure you're following BC and LBC. Fidel, what do you got, brother?
No, I was just saying, wait a minute, because I just wanted to say not everybody, but I couldn't because the train was like finally exiting out, and it's constantly blowing the horn. I'm like, okay, I know you're a few miles away, but if I can hear it, the viewers can hear it. So I was like, I gotta wait.
That's all right. Well, welcome back. It's good to have you back. Obviously, everybody in the chat was loving the fact that you were back. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully everything else pans out. I know you still got a little bit to go, but it's good to have you back in the mix.
Yeah, within all hopes, I'll be back on a more regular basis after today. So
excellent. And then just from my point of view, you guys have seen Jar in the chat. Appreciate him being here. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Jar and I excuse me, we'll have the Matrix Money. We're going to be talking about a bunch of news things, but we're going to be doing it through the lens of the Bitcoin conference. So hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. And I will be a little more on fire with regard to that tomorrow than I was today. I really did try to hold back today. I can't guarantee tomorrow.
Unacceptable, sir. No holding back.
To be honest, I can't wait for all these videos from the Bitcoin conference like this week. It's only been 2 years since I've been to one, but I had tickets. I gave them to Jimmy Jim from Billy Goat Tales.
Yep.
Giver's Gain. I was like, hey, do you need tickets? He's like, I could use one. I was like, here, I'll send you 2. He's like, oh, thanks. I was like, I'm not going, so what am I going to do with it?
Exactly. Anyway, so tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then Friday night, Crypto on the Rocks we'll be back at it on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And guys, next week for the HODL the Line show, we have Crux of Crypto going to be here with us. So make sure you're here for that. And then the following week, the 11th, we're going to have LBC in the house. So make sure you're here for these next 2 episodes, okay? You're definitely going to want to be a part of it. All right, we're going to dance our way out. Don't forget, we're going to raid JR's live stream. When you get there, tell him CCM raid in the chat. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Night all.
Thank you, everybody. As my storm is hitting harder, I don't know if you can hear the rain fall, but
nope. But we're gonna dance. Go dance.
Well, BC could hear the birds earlier. You can't hear the rain. Come on.
Yeah. Screens glow. Timeline scream. Same fear, different day. Lock in. HODL the line. Don't blink, don't fold. Hands stay steady when the stories get old. Charts go wild, but the taste is fine. Mindset, grind, a battle calm. BC breaking down the noise. Hold the line. Yeah, we ride that grind through the fear, through the foot, through the echo chamber signs. They panic, sell. We design the climb. HODL the line. Yeah. HODL the line. Old school charts in a new age storm. Seen cycles born, seen cycles torn. Zoomed out vision, long-term frame. While the feed chases candles, he studies the game. Macro whispers, history rhymes. Patience weaponized over time. No panic button, no rush to speak. Just facts stacked.